Hey, you're listening to 91.1 The Avenue. My name is Ann, and this is The Avenue's Mile of Music coverage. We're celebrating the 10th year of the Mile of Music Festival, and today we're talking with Irish singer-songwriter Pat Byrne. Thanks for being in, Pat.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Terrific. So you didn't come over from Ireland. Where did you join us from?
I moved from Ireland to Texas 5 years ago. I live in Austin, Texas, and I've been on the road for the last 4 weeks, so I've been in Wisconsin for about a week now. But yeah, I suppose I'm joining from Austin, Texas.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, we detect the mild accent.
The Texas accent or the Irish accent?
Whatever, but I see you've embraced Wisconsin. For listeners, Pat is wearing a T-shirt from Manitowoc.
I love it.
So you said in 2017 you moved to Austin, and taking a look at your bio, it looks like you kind of caught on pretty fast. 2019 you had a lot of kind of breakout things happen. You were at South by Southwest.
Yeah, I was lucky. I hit the ground running, got on some nice festivals over here.
You've played Americana Fest in Nashville.
Yeah, a few times, and 30A Festival in Florida, and yeah, some nice ones. And now Mile of Music, which I've heard from anyone that's played it, it's their favourite festival. I've only heard amazing things about this one. So
I was going to ask you how you found your way here, but I think your manager.
My agent actually has a lot of most of her artists play this festival, so I think she got me in here this year. So I'm grateful to her, Lara Supan, and she's actually playing at the festival this year as well.
Well, we're glad to have you, and it sounds like your experience so far has been pretty positive.
Yeah, I arrived yesterday and played the Stone Arch Brew Pub. I was expecting just a normal pub gig where people would be pretty drunk and I'd be background noise, but people have set the tone very nicely. It was it was a pretty full house, and everyone was sitting and listening, and I couldn't believe it. And apparently that's what the vibe of the festival is here. So I can't wait for more of those listening room vibes.
And correct. Well, you'll be here all 4 days of the Mile Festival.
Yeah.
Pat Byrne, look for him in the festival app or the printed guide, which you can pick up around town. That will get you where you need to be. So let's talk a little bit about your sound, because I'm sure we're introducing you to listeners for the first time here. And I've seen a quote about you. It said, combine the transcendent poetry of Bob Dylan with the gritty, real work rock and roll storytelling of Bruce Springsteen, and a dash of the political activism embodied by Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger. You'll have Pat Byrne. No pressure.
Well, that's kind of crazy, but a lovely quote. Of course I'm going to use it.
Well, I can attest to all of that. I stopped by your set last night at Stone Arch, and I would highly recommend you to listeners of the Avenue or anyone attending the festival. So I heard a little Glenn Hansard in what you do.
Oh, I've heard that a few times. Well, I mean, I grew up obsessed with Glenn Hansard and the Frames. My first gig was the Frames in the Point Theatre in Dublin when I was 14, and I was just hooked. And anything Glenn Hansard, I was all over. And I kind of moved away from him in my early 20s, but he's definitely a big influence on me, and definitely the way I perform is probably, and I've got the red hair, and maybe I actually was approached to his part in Once. I was approached to play that part in like an English run of Once, and I couldn't make it happen, but I love all those songs and I know them, and that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, people have pointed out to me before that there's some Glenn Hansard similarities.
Well, what was the impetus for, packing up and coming to America?
Well, I lived in Ireland, and all I've ever done is play music. It's the only living I've ever had, and it's very hard to make a living playing your own music in Ireland. It's a small island. I love Ireland, but, we got 4.5 million people, and there's only so many venues, and unless you're a massive name, it's kind of hard to sustain a living playing original stuff. So I kind of was playing a lot of weddings and pub gigs just to pay the bills. And after 10 years of that, I just kind of got fed up and wanted to come over here where I know it's a massive market and you can just stay on the road and play your own songs to new people all the time. And, you know, wanted to write more music. I hadn't been writing at all really in Ireland. I was just playing covers. So moved here and started writing songs and made a record, and haven't looked back. I've just been playing my own stuff for the last 5 years, and it's been the best move I've ever made.
Well, we're pleased to have you, and thanks for coming in to the festival and to the station. I'd like to have listeners get a sample of what you sound like. Would you play us a song?
Yeah, will do.
Oh,
this is my most recent single, and it's a song about making a living doing what you love. It's called Feels Like Living. I landed on the runway in Chicago, bought a coffee, then I traded it for a beer. And the connecting flight to Austin felt like nothing. I'm gonna give this place the best part of a year. And the woman at the motel is hard of hearing. She doesn't understand the way I speak. So I straighten out my accent and give her every last cent. Said I need a room to see me through the week. And I'm hungry, but the work's not coming easy. I'm tired except for when I'm not awake. And I put on my shirt and tie, tell myself another lie. No, you're not gonna miss another lucky break. And I wake up early in the morning and fill the day with useful things to do. But the only time it ever feels like living is when I'm down beneath the surface with you. When I'm running from the ruckus, hiding from the circus, down beneath the surface with you. My show last night was wrapped up by 11, and there was 11 people breathing in that air. 2 who knew my name, 2 just watched the game, 7 drowning sorrow with despair. These Sunday nights are breaking me so slowly, chasing down that runaway thrill. Sometimes trying to play the game feels like trying to find a vein. I'm sick and tired of pushing water up this hill. But still I'll wake up early every morning, and I'll fill the day with useful things to do. But the only time it ever feels like living is when I'm down beneath the surface with you. When I'm running from the ruckus, hiding from the circus, down beneath the surface with you. When I'm running from the ruckus, I'm hiding from the circus. When I'm down beneath
the surface with you.
Beautiful. Thank you. That is Pat Byrne. You can find him at Mile of Music Festival this weekend, all 4 days of the Mile of Music Festival. And thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Anne.
This is the Avenue's Mile of Music coverage, made possible with support from Nicolet Bank and from U.S. Venture. Additional support comes from Dodd Home Safety. Dodd Home Safety performs home safety assessments, provides and installs the recommended equipment, and trains everyone on how to keep loved ones safe and independent in their own homes. More information at doddhomesafety.com.